Although Drum moved off, he did not seem particularly agitated by our presence. The males of a pride keep strange males away. Demonstrating that this was his territory, Drum sprayed the area with a pungent glandular secretion used for marking. Then Drum joined Gong, the other male of the pride. It was likely that Drum and Gong were brothers. They hardly overexerted themselves. They spent up to 20 hours a day resting or sleeping. There was Viola, of the 4 lionesses the most maternal and protective of cubs. She was soon joined by Fiddle and the rest of the youngsters. The other 2 mothers, Zither and Fife, seemed to be away. Most likely they were hunting for food. All the females in a pride share in the feeding and protection of young cubs. It is extremely difficult to tell which cubs belong to which mother. Litters within a pride intermix and will suckle from any of the pride's females. The mothers are tolerant of all the cubs, but give preferential treatment to their own. As the cubs scrambled for position, Viola, ever maternal, displayed great patience. Fiddle, however, showed irritation and abruptly ceased nursing. As Fiddle began to move off, Viola observed her for a moment and then prepared to follow. Viola must have been Banjo's mother. She picked him up like a newborn cub to carry him back to the others. Suddenly, the pride's other 2 lionesses, Zither and Fife, appeared, apparently returning from an unsuccessful hunt. Fiddle, followed by the cubs, greeted them in typical lion fashion, rubbing heads, first with Zither and then with Fife. Then Viola returned with Banjo, and the foursome was complete. With Drum and Gong absent, the intruder was not likely to be challenged. It was the outcast Loot that drew his attention. He seemed about to court her. Nomadic males wander throughout the Serengeti, unattached, feeding and mating where they can. The other female seemed nervous, probably concerned for their cubs, so dangerously close to a strange male. During the first phase of lion courtship, the female seems to reject the male, forcing him to defend himself even as he pursues her. Calmer now, Loot moved off, closely followed by the persistent male. After making the approach of males difficult, if not impossible, female lions suddenly become submissive and allow the males to embrace them. With nips and bites, the male expresses his ardor. Among lions, mating may continue for several days at approximately 15-minute intervals. For Viola and the others, there would be difficult times ahead. The growing cubs were demanding more and more food, but now, with the dry season upon them, the supply of both food and water would dwindle. Until now, little Banjo had managed to keep up with the others. But during the hard months ahead, the females would probably have to be less attentive to their cubs. The cubs, hidden in the grass during the chase, ran to greet the females as they returned from the hunt. If their mothers had been successful, they would now be led to the kill. First they ran to Viola, then to Zither, but their anticipation was in vain. The dry season had indeed begun. The Serengeti was very dry, and game seemed scarce. The cubs would now be 3 months old. I was eager to see how well they had fared. All 4 lionesses were there: Viola, Zither, Fiddle, and Fife. But as we watched Viola tending the cubs, we realized that of the original 16, only 8 were left. The others had most likely fallen victim to hyenas or other hungry prowlers. When food is scarce, even male lions are known to kill cubs. Drum. He only occasionally visited the females. They greeted him submissively, yet he seemed ill at ease. No matter how submissive they may appear, females with small cubs can become very aggressive in concern for their youngsters' safety. And there was Loot, the outcast, still lurking about. A lone female will often stay close to an established pride, seeking an opportunity to share in its kill. It may be that Loot was not in heat and was therefore unwilling to mate, but clearly Drum was attracted to her. Although Loot repelled him, it was quite apparent that she did not perceive Drum as a threat. For a long time they lay side by side. This was a very strange romance. Drum then rose and looked in the direction of the pride. Drum approached Loot again, and for a moment it seemed she might be interested. but Drum let the moment pass. Finally, Drum seemed to move in with a little more determination, but wound up aimlessly sniffing the ground as he had done before. And then he moved off. Scraped the ground as though frustrated by Luke's indifference. It was difficult to know. Was Luke really unwilling, or was Drum simply inept? We had not seen Drum since his unsuccessful encounter with the outcast Luke. Perhaps made nervous by his presence, the females dragged the carcass further away. Cautiously, Drum moved closer. He seemed indecisive. Zither saw him. All 4 females charged him. They would drive him from their kill. The cowed male watched as the females returned to their cubs, who, at least for the moment, were engaged in an uninterrupted feast. Drum was outmatched. Suddenly, Gong arrived on the scene and raced directly to the females on their kill. Now, bolstered by Gong's arrival, Drum gained courage. And the 2 males appropriated the entire meal for themselves. Against 2 males, the females were helpless. For the still hungry but cautious cubs, there might be some scraps once the males were finished. This cub was not nearly as adept at climbing as the others, and Viola seemed concerned. Suddenly we realized, by his whisker marks, that this was Banjo. Banjo had survived. Very carefully, Viola started down, as though to avoid Banjo. Now, leaving the other females and the cubs behind, Zither, the pride's best hunter, went off on her own. Adult lions are adapted to lives of feast or famine and can endure starvation diets. It was the cubs that were most in danger. Zither seemed a most dejected creature. We decided to follow Zither and see how she fared. The wildebeest's best defense is its speed. Zither had to get very close to have any chance of success. The wildebeest seemed to sense that something was amiss. Nervously, the wildebeest moved on. Unnoticed by the others, Zither waited until they all had passed. Then she would attack from the rear. Once again, Zither was denied. A single lion hunting large prey during the day succeeds less than 1/3 of the time. The zebra made an astonishing final effort to escape, but it was to no avail. And scavenging hyenas were already gathering close by. The lions were outnumbered. Zither and Viola were forced to relinquish their prize. Hyenas in large numbers have little fear of female lions. Viola and Zither watched helplessly as their meal was consumed by others. The two lionesses made their way back to the pride. Fiddle and Fife had remained behind tending the cubs, who would not feed this day. Although these lions were having their difficulties, theirs was far from a hopeless fate, for lions have developed a social structure that enables them to cope with a demanding existence. It is in the unity of a pride that its success can be measured, and from all we knew of this small group, we felt certain it would continue and thrive. By August, the 3rd month of the dry season, we were ready to depart. Viola and the cubs had begun to show the effects of deprivation. They were very thin, and you could see their ribs clearly outlined against their skin. Viola seemed to be leading the cubs toward a specific place. They would feed at last. The zebra had been either brought down or appropriated by Zither and Fife. Now, unmolested, the hungry pride fed in peace.